Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Alter, the podcast with me, your host, Heather Bree-Ann, and our beautiful, wonderful, talented, most amazing co-host, Tania Kazi. Hello. I want to say good morning. It's morning for me. It's evening for you. Pretty much every time. Here we are. Good night for you, but stay awake just for a little bit longer. We got this. So I'd love to begin today's episode by actually taking a breath together, because we're going to speak a little bit about the breath, this sutra, the first sutra of the Radiance Sutras that's about the breath and using breath as a doorway into a practice of meditation. So why don't we do this together? Just nose breath, nothing really in particular other than just feeling into that touch of the air coming in and out of the nose. And we could find a layer, a moment of enticement, or just this sweet savoring of noticing a breath or two. Not a force, not a have to, but what, if anything, is enjoyable about noticing your breath for a second longer. So we're going to open right into this inquiry, this sutra. So a reminder that, right, this is the beginning piece of the sutras is this conversation between the goddess and the god, Shakti and Shiva, and the goddess asks all of these questions. What is this? How do I live in this world? Tell me more, please, God. Or Bhairava, explain to me the kind of the secrets, the mysteries of the universe. And so he replies, "Beloved, your questions require the answers that come through direct living experience. The way of experience begins with a breath, such as the breath you are breathing now. Awakening into luminous reality may dawn in the momentary throb between any two breaths. The momentary throb between any two breaths." So we might just drop into that, sink into that moment between the inhale and the exhale. That subtle pause. Exhaling, breath is released and flows out. There is a pulse as it turns to flow in. In that turn, you are empty. Enter the emptiness as the source of all life. Enter that emptiness as the source of all life. Inhaling, breath flows in, filling, nourishing. Just as it turns to flow out, there is a flash of pure joy. Joy, the flash of pure joy. Life is renewed. Life is renewed. Through this pulsing rhythm, we have this opportunity over and over and over again, 20 to 25,000 times a day, to have a mini moment of spaciousness, perhaps emptiness, and that sense of renewal through this pulsing rhythm happening continuously. So subtle, yet so profound if we allow it to be.
Absolutely.
Tania, what are you feeling in your body? Yeah.
I feel as if the first thing that I want to share is that the whole book is poetic. It's really poetic. So when you get this book, The Radiance Sutras, as translated by Dr. Lorin Roche. It's so pretty. The words, the way they're threaded together are just so magical. It's so delightful to hear them every time or read them. And breath in every meditation class, in every yoga class, can be so boring. It's such a boring concept. You know, especially when some teachers will say, watch your breath. You know, watch your breath. How do you watch your breath?
I just start laughing. It's almost, sometimes I do get like the humor. It's almost humorous. Like, what does that even mean? Watch your breath. Like, sorry.
And they've made it, you know, and it's become so, and it is so boring. You know, if I'm sitting there paying attention to my breath, it's so boring after the first two breaths.
Just focus on your breath, Tania. Just come back to the breath.
Sorry for being the obnoxious disruptor, but what I love about what you were reading, Heather, was especially that line when you said the way of experience begins with a breath. Right. Mm-hmm. So the way of experience begins with the breath. I feel like just that line alone has so much wisdom in it, because the way of any experience, the way of any event, anything that is beginning in life, anything that is starting, anything that you're in the middle of, anything that is ending, it's an experience. The way of embarking upon anything in life is also through breath. Mm-hmm. It begins with a breath. There's always breath. So we're in this, it's like the fish in the ocean wondering where it can get a sip of water from. Like, we're in it all the time anyway. Mm-hmm. But what I love about Lorin's approach is how we can step away from the amount of boredom that the idea of breath can bring in a meditation, and be more like, wow, I can get really inquisitive and curious about my breath. Mm-hmm. And for me, I've noticed I do this subconsciously now. I'm not even aware of it. In fact, my sister pointed it out a couple of years ago. She's like, I often catch you sighing very deeply. Why do you sigh so much? And I'm like, yeah, exhaling with a lot of purpose and intention is also my way of grounding. It's also my way of connecting to the earth. And it's become so much a part of my way of living that, breathing, I'm not even aware, but we're never really aware of breathing. We're always breathing without being aware of breathing. But when we go through this training, we go through this practice, we become aware of the subtle magic of breath. And even if it's just a few breaths that you're playing with us in this experiment, feel this inhale. Whether you're drawing it in from the nostrils or you're taking it in through the mouth, just feel it fill your belly and how it expands and pushes against the walls of your abdomen. And what does it feel like when you're releasing it and emptying your belly?